Hello, all. We are two as one,
My name is Andres.
and I am Karin. And today is the topic is part four of our Surviving the Holidays guide. And the first one was about
My
goals, health
goals.
Yes, maintaining your health goals, keeping it very simple through the holidays. Number two was about money, how to manage money, how to not bury yourself in debt. And number three was dealing with family. It's often a lot of family time, right, over the holidays. And today is about traditions.
Traditions. I love it.
Traditions. If you're familiar with Fiddler on the Roof, Fiddler on the Roof. It's a very famous play, which is beautiful. It's a lovely movie. Anyway, so I think that one of the things that's really important, and we discussed this topic in the money part as well, about if you, especially if you can really focus more on experiences and togetherness, as opposed to spending a lot of money everywhere and causing yourself a lot of stress that way, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Enjoy the presence of your loved ones. That's priceless.
And there was also something else that I think is important because some people, myself included, have beautiful holiday memories. For me, growing up in Denmark, winter was very so depressing. When we got around fall, it's like, oh my God, it's going to be dark and cold dreary for the next God knows how many months. So for me, Christmas was like, there was coziness, there was decorations, there was some celebration. So it was really something that helped me get through at least a stretch of the winter. So that was really wonderful. But some people have a lot of trauma, associated with the holidays, whether it's that their families were running amok and getting drunk and drugging and arguing and all the things, or if you have some family, adult stuff. Maybe you're in your relationship, there were things going on, and you kind of had a little bit of that, right? You had tough holidays.
As a as a former police officer, December was very tough for us in the force, working, dealing with a lot of people, a lot of issues during the holidays. So that was kind of different for myself.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was fun.
Well, tell us a little bit about that. That would be interesting. A lot of police stories that will be very interesting.
Well, December is the city anniversary. I'm from Ecuador. I'm from Quito, so that's the city anniversary at the beginning of December. So and then it's Christmas and New Year's Eve, and it's a lot of traditions. There's a lot of things that we like to do, and it's a lot of, unfortunately, a lot of alcohol involved in the celebration, and that means extra work for the police force. But yeah, it was a lot of fun, a lot of good memories as well, in a different way, but good memories.
Yeah. But then you also had some personal things that happened, right?
Well, when I was a child, I was different. We had we celebrate usually 9 days before Christmas, and we had the gather and someone of my aunties or my uncles, and it was really fun and beautiful. Being together with my cousins, my sisters, my siblings, and we used to pray for 9 days, usually at the afternoon before Christmas. And Christmas was a big gathering. Everybody was there. It was not about the presents because I have no memories um, too much related with presents and such, but was the feeling to have the family having a great time, and we usually spend the night dancing, cooking, eating, telling jokes, and it was
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah, and so that part of some of those people who have sad things happen, whether it's divorce, not being able to see your kids, or death of your loved ones. For example, I have somebody that I'm working with as a client. She loves Christmas. Her husband lost his parents, in the month of December, one when he was his mom when he was 15, and the dad a couple of years later. Well, now he's in his 50s, 60s, or whatever, but he has held on to that over the holidays since then. And my point is that yes, sometimes there are sad things that have happened, and we can then choose to hold on to that, and oh, that's my sadness, and that's how it is. Or we can choose to create something new, right? We can choose to, yes, that's happened in the past, but we're here now and moving forward. Because one of the things is that him hanging on to that sadness is putting a damper on the family too, on her and their kids. Now the kids are all grown now, but still, you have to also factor that in. It's like, okay, well, is that what you want to bring into your family, your sadness? And I'm not saying to ignore your sadness. I'm just saying there's a time and a place for it, and there's also something to be said for processing it and then moving forward. I lost my dad when I was 5, and to this day, there's still moments where I can get all teary-eyed over it. But I'm not going to. Still, this was 50 years ago. 50 years ago now that that he died this year. Yeah, and so. But what if I had held on to that and ruined every single holiday because my dad died, right? That would be really sad for me and my family.
Well, to me, was a life of death decision. Remember, was on December when I was living in my misery, went through a divorce and kids, and so that's when I took the decision to move to United States because I was thinking to kill myself. Thank God I didn't.
Right.
I'm a survivor.
That's right. That's right.
A true holiday survivor.
Yeah.
And well, was a really good decision. Everything changed for good, and here I am.
Yeah. Well, which I'm glad that allowed yourself to share that because, that is where people get. Sometimes it gets so dark that people feel as though suicide is the answer. It's too painful. I don't see a way out, and they take their lives. And so for you, you're saying that you just made a huge drastic decision to change environment.
it was a drastic decision, but as I said, it was a life or death situation because I couldn't see myself holding that frustration and all of it, and it was not a purpose to me to stay, and I had the opportunity to come over here and start over again, and I did it, and things are doing good now.
Yes.
I met you, my lovely
yes.
wife.
Yes. And all of that, you coming here was how long ago now?
15, 2009, 15 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Crazy, yeah. And 5 years ago, we met each other. So there you go. You keep on plugging along. You start seeing something that you want to create. Speaking of something that you want to create, so I think many times, just like you were talking about some of your favorite childhood memories of the 9 days of prayer before Christmas, and all the family collection that you had because you had a huge family.
Well, yeah, we have huge family, and it's interesting because when you are in that dark place, nothing of it matters. I couldn't remember that the joy that I had when I was a child because I was in this dark place, and I couldn't remember God to open my memories and try to find something that give me joy and hope, and was everything dark. I couldn't see that.
That is a fact, and that's something that I see a lot when I do a particular modality that I work with people that's called EMDR, which is a way of processing traumatic memories. Exactly what you were just talking about, that people, before they process the trauma, they don't remember anything good because the trauma just overshadows everything. And once we process something with EMDR, it's like the curtain has rise and there's the sun again. And wow, I have good memories too. I'm so
Right.
surprised. Yeah, it's amazing.
It is.
Yeah. And some of my favorite things of when I was in my dark place, I did definitely for sure suffer from seasonal affect depression because it was dark a lot. It would Sun wouldn't get up until about 10 a.m. and then it would get darker somewhere around 4 p.m. So it's a
So
very
depressing.
small window of sunlight, and yeah, and a lot of that time, when school was in, you were at school, so. But I remember, for example, at school one day during the month of December, we would do no school work whatsoever, and we would have all of our craft stuff out, and we would make what we call guirlanda and decorate the whole classroom and with our homemade decorations, and it was just fun, and candlelight and a little music, and we were hanging out with your classmates. And then on December 13th, what they always did was the Santa Lucia, which is absolutely beautiful. Again, it's dark in the morning, so the first 2 hours of school when we were there, however long it would take them to get through the whole school, there would be the choir, and there would be one girl that was in the front wearing, everybody was there, all the girls, they were wearing white dresses with a red sash around their waist. And the front girl, she had a wreath with 4 live candles. Um, and no bad things ever happened. It was good. And carried,
The all good days.
yeah,
Good old days.
and carried a live candle in her hand. And then behind her was a row, 2 rows of girls behind her. They just had the candle in their hand, and of course, still the white dress with the red sash, and sing Santa Lucia. Santa Lucia, and however else it goes, but that's the song. And then there would be usually two kids who would carry a tray of like gingerbread type of cookies, and they would go around. They would turn off the light when the girls came in, and they would stand in line in the classroom and sing. And the 2 other kids who were carrying the trays of the cookies, they'd go around the classroom. We would all take some cookies, and it was just so beautiful. Yeah. So, what are some of your favorite traditions that we do now?
Well, we usually try to attend the many concerts as we can, and that becomes a tradition in our family, and I love it. Um, Chasing Christmas decoration, that could be my son number one tradition.
For sure. Yeah, driving around and seeing, especially in neighborhoods where they put a lot of decorations up and lights. That's always fun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the gingerbread houses.
Oh yes.
Built in.
Yes, that is our tradition. We get a gingerbread house now. We get one for the big kid, one for the little kid, and we have almost like a gingerbread house making a competition. It's not really a competition, but it's fun.
Yeah, a lot of fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
We have our traditional board,
Vision board.
vision boards.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep, that we do with the kids also. So, figure out what is it that we really want and become intentional about what do we want with this new year that's coming up. What do we want to focus on? What are the things that we want to tweak in our life? And it really helps. And we also what we do is then we take the vision board from the year that we're finishing up and look at that. It's like, okay, well, how did we do? Did we do these things? Were there other things that we did that aren't on the board? And I find that it really helps to kind of keep you on a particular
How
thread.
do we call that? The board?
Accomplishment. Yeah.
Accomplishment board.
Yeah. Yeah, then we've done that too, where on one side we'll write down what we accomplished, and the other side we write what we want to accomplish in the year. And I think that's especially if where I've had years where whatever I put on my vision board, really not much of that happened. And then I just feel like, well, what the heck did I do with myself this year? It's not as though I didn't do anything. So that's where I thought, well, what if we write down what we did do? And once we did that, I was like, oh, okay, that's much better.
Yeah. Yeah, something that becomes a tradition now is we have the Power of Eight. Do you want to tell them what the Power of Eight is about it?
So I read this book that called The Power of Eight, and there are two previous books by Lynn McTaggart. And what it is about is she is an investigative journalist, and she has interviewed a lot of quantum physicists who do research on the the power of intention, being intentional. And so she did this experiment with a lot of large groups, and then after a while, with the researchers, then showed, oh yeah, there's definitely something to this. When groups of people set intentions and stay very focused on it for 10 minutes, it makes a difference in whatever it is that you're setting your intention on. The big groups, they were doing the intentions on seeds and different things. These seeds are going to grow faster than those, or whatever. That's just an example. So then she was wondering with her husband, okay, well, so we know that it works with large groups of people. What's the smallest number of people we can get together where it will also be as effective, if not more effective? And what they came up with, again, working with the researchers, the quantum physicists, they came up with that the number 8 is the most powerful number. And at the end of the book, that's called The Power of Eight, she writes then how can you create your own Power of Eight group? So I figure, well, what good is having this knowledge if we don't put it to practice? And we started this group 3 years ago. 3 years ago. Wow. You don't have to meet in person. We just Zoom, and again, it's 10 minutes, and we play the Choku Rei, which is some Reiki music, and we all decide on, okay, well, this week we're going to focus on, so Mary has a health problem. She's got a thyroid thing. We're going to focus on that, let's just say. That's just an example. And spend 10 minutes, then we chat about what we saw, what we experienced in our intention, and then we go on our life. And so
I think we need a program just for for the Power of Eight.
for sure.
So it was becomes a tradition now, the white elephant with our Power of Eight people, and it's beautiful.
We
It's
get
amazing.
together, have a little potluck, and these people that we now have created this amazing bond with, we just get to see each other in person and chit chat and have good food. Of course, I bring my traditional æbleskiver, which is where I come from, Denmark. We make æbleskiver this time of year, which is beautiful. I'll share that picture right there. And yeah, it's fun.
It is. It is a lot of fun. You can feel the love, the energy. It's amazing. I love it.
Yeah.
Really like it.
Which is really the point of all of this here as we wrap up for today is, what do we want the emphasis to be?
Well, let's the self-care and love becomes a tradition in our lives.
Yeah, yeah,
That's important.
yeah. And I think sometimes we can focus a little too much on the busyness, that I have to do all these things. And I'm a huge proponent of, let's reflect and see, is it really important to be this busy? Maybe it is. Maybe it's your thing, and that's great. My thing is just, if you start to feel yourself getting stressed out and you're letting go of all of your self-care things, and you're doing a lot of this just because you feel that you should, or other people expect this of you, and other people are not living your life. They're not there to pick you up off the floor when you are burnt out because you ran yourself to the ground, right? They're not paying your bills. They're not paying your hospital bills when you go to the hospital because you literally are burnt out. That actually happens, okay? So that is my big thing that I emphasize with people is, take care of you first. Let's see, what do you want this season to be for you, and create that intentionally with your partner, And fortunately, we're on the same page. We're not all about let's spend $1 million on gifts and this, that, and the other thing. No, no, that's not getting us where we want to be, right? Financially, emotionally, or any which way.
Nope.
And yeah, so that's what we're going to encourage you to go out, take care of yourself, do good self-care, feel the love, be the light, and we will see you next time.
See you all.